couple minutes behind because I still am figuring out technology, I guess. It took me a little bit to get my camera working, so I'm glad that it's all working now. And we are cleaning our live videos, just as a reminder, Monday through Friday at 9:15. If you can't catch the live Facebook videos, you are more than welcome to listen to these on our podcast, which we will upload daily as well. So that's going to be at the Yellow Brick Therapy podcast. So you can listen to it in the car as you're commuting and all that good stuff, because I do know that some of us are working around 9:15 or have other obligations. So I get that not everybody can join me for coffee at that time. Today, what I wanted to talk about was the transition we're facing now that people are going to be slowly going out into the world, and there are going to be different thoughts about that, where some people think that we should be doing this slower than others and are staying at home, and then other people are kind of just going a little bit wild and just getting out there and contacting people. So I know that there are a lot of different views on this, and so what I want to talk about today is how we have conversations around this without losing our friends, without getting mean or having extra conflict in our lives that isn't really necessary. So the first things first, we understand with human communication that a person needs to feel heard first before they will be able to absorb anything that you have to say that's different from their viewpoint. So if we don't actually have them feel heard, right? And actually do try to understand where a person's coming from and their context and why they disagree and how they feel about, treating COVID and the different boundaries they have around that, they are not going to be able to absorb anything we have to say after the fact. And so first things first, we have to listen. We have to seek to understand. We have to ask them questions about why they view things the way they do. And try to remain calm and have a good tone about that, right? Because people can sense in our tone too if we're being judgmental or if we're shutting them down. They can feel that, right? So with our body language too, we have to really come at them from a stance of curiosity. And then once we've listened to them, then we can share with them our thoughts or our personal boundaries or how we are feeling about it. And don't always expect that to necessarily be something that they absorb in a healthy, positive way. Some people are going to totally listen to that and maybe agree to disagree, and then others are going to totally push against your views, and usually that's because maybe they're not in a good space at this point in time. I mean, truly all we can do is control ourselves and our own family systems. We can't go out there and control how everybody else approaches this, how they respond to it, and the different ways that they deal with their stress. So the best thing that we can do is to be part of the family systems that set an example of remaining calm and trying to remain out of judgment, even though I do feel like it's still important for us to communicate our boundaries when we do have not perceived, but actual legitimate fears and different things that would help us feel safer as we're slowly coming out of this quarantine time. I know it's also going to be a little confusing, especially for kiddos, as different family systems do different things. So just ensuring with your kids, hey, we're all in transition right now and we're trying to figure it out. And maybe the way Bobby's family is doing it is different than Susan's family, is different than Jemmy's family. And so we are all trying to figure out how to navigate this. And this is our family's boundaries. This is how we're going to approach it. And we will do our best to continue to update that and live with kindness to everybody else, even if they have different views than us and they approach this very differently. The last thing we need right now and all of this stress and extra anxiety is judgment. The last thing we need is shame. The last thing we need is to die on our hill of people should be doing it our way. I know that, it can be frustrating when people see things differently than you do. But try to understand that oftentimes when people have those views, it's coming from a good place from them too. It's not like they just wanted to wake up and have this viewpoint that would really hurt other people. Typically, they have their own context for that. And same for you, right? It's really hard for us to know what's right and wrong right now. We're all having to deal with question marks and the fear of uncertainty and not really knowing exactly how to navigate this, which is super hard for my people who struggle with over control. You know who I'm talking to. And so maybe right now is a really good time for us to practice flexibility and being able to sit with questions. I know it's tough. It's definitely tough for me, and a practice and a skill that I've had to develop over time so that I could maintain my own sanity. But I encourage you to do that. And just remember, be kind out there, seek to understand, and then set boundaries where you can and what's within your control, and try to accept what's not. I know that that's hard, but it's so crucial so that we can maintain our sense of calm and decrease negativity. I hope you guys have an awesome Tuesday. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. And go kick butt today, take some belly breaths, and I will see you next time.